Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to make a quick video just kind of going over the things that you're going to see in chapter 4 and kind of where food nutrition or ServSafe is going for the rest of the semester. So the concepts or topics that we've covered up until this point, I feel like they've been kind of simple or things that you may already have run across before, right? Possibly. From here on out, though, it's going to be topics that you've probably not run across before. It's a lot of different temperatures that you're going to need to kind of remember, and like storage of food and pest management and just all kind of things that you've, as far as ServSafe goes, that you've never run across before. So basically what I'm saying is, if you have not watched the videos that I make, you need to start watching them, because I feel like if you don't watch the videos of me explaining things, you're going to be kind of lost, okay? This chapter, along with all the other chapters, are kind of lumped together. So the next test you're going to get from me is going to say that it's going to be the test for chapters 4 through 7. I just want you to be aware of that, because I just put up the PowerPoint yesterday for chapter 4, and then on Friday you're going to get another PowerPoint, and you're not like, why am I getting another PowerPoint? And she hasn't given me the test yet for this chapter. So they're all going to be lumped together in chapters 4 through 7. Okay, so in your next test on chapters 4 through 7 will be sometime next week. So just kind of to keep an eye out for that. This chapter starts the flow of food, and the next couple of chapters talk about the flow of food and cover the different steps in the flow of food. You're probably sitting at home wondering, what on earth is the flow of food? Okay, so ServSafe is what ServSafe calls it, the flow of food. It's basically everything from when you purchase food all the way to you serve food to your customer. Okay, so just imagine for a second that you work at Chili's over there on Manhattan, right? And you're the manager of Chili's and you run that operation. The flow of food, the very first step in the flow of food is purchasing food, okay? So you call up your reputable supplier, right? We've talked about that before to make sure you know where you're getting your stuff from. So you call up your reputable supplier and you purchase your food, okay? Then you're going to receive your food, meaning you're going to be at Chili's waiting for your shipments of food to come in, right? Your food or supplies, all right? So you purchase food, you receive food, okay? Maybe you're receiving a bunch of chips or whatever or something like that, right? So you purchase food, receive food, then you have to store food. You may be getting this big old shipment of food and you're not going to eat all this food right away or cook this food to serve right away. So you have to store it. Okay, then you're going to prep your food, then you're going to cook your food, and then you're going to serve your food. So altogether there's 6 steps. And like I said, these next couple of chapters are going to cover those six steps, okay, in the flow of food. So purchase food, receive food, store food, prep food, cook food, and serve food to your customers. Okay, so there's 6 steps. Also in those 6 steps is how to properly cool food, how to properly hold food, and how to properly reheat food. Okay, so what do they mean by that? As far as cooling food, you cannot take, like say you've got a big old pot of chili and it's nice and hot, you just finished cooking this big old pot of chili. You're not going to serve it right now, you're going to serve it later. You cannot take that big old pot of steaming hot chili and put it right into the refrigerator, okay, because bacteria can grow. There's a whole process on how you properly cool food, okay? There's also a process on how to reheat food, and there's also a process we learn about how to hold food, meaning if you have like a buffet line or something like that, and you've got a bunch of chili or what have you in a buffet line, how to properly hold the food and keep it hot and keep it at safe temperature. So there's a process for that too. Okay, so just kind of be aware, these next couple of chapters are lumped together and it covers the flow of food. Okay, so what do they talk about? I have my PowerPoint here for chapter 4, so you may see me looking at it here and there to make sure I'm kind of going over what I want to go over with you guys. The first thing they talk about is cross-contamination. We've talked about cross-contamination before. The easiest way I like to describe it is if you have a cutting board, you're cutting up raw chicken, and then you're going to go cut up lettuce. You take the cutting board that you use to cut up the raw chicken, you use the same cutting board, the same knife, the same everything. Maybe you got the same gloves on, and you don't wash, rinse, sanitize anything, and then you put the head of lettuce on it. That's cross-contamination, okay? I feel like y'all kind of got a good handle on that, and y'all understand what that is since we've talked about it before, okay? So they talk about that. You want to use separate equipment. They talk about how to avoid cross-contamination. When we go down into the kitchen, you'll see there's different cutting boards and different colors of cutting boards for different things. A lot of restaurants do that. They have a clear or white cutting board that's specifically for like multi-purpose stuff. They have the green cutting boards that are for produce and vegetables. They have the red cutting boards that are for like ground meat or like red meat. They have the blue cutting board that tends to be for fish. Yellow tends to be for dairy. So if at all possible, they recommend, in order to prevent cross-contamination, for you to use separate equipment for different things, okay? Let's see, as far as prepping food, they talk about when you prep food, not to pull out a whole bunch of food at one time that you're not gonna need. If you know you're only making one roast beef sandwich, just one, then you're not going to take out the whole pan of roast beef and leave it sitting out. You're going to take just enough to make that one sandwich and then leave the rest of the roast beef in the refrigerator. So that's the big thing too, is make sure you're not pulling out a whole bunch of food that you don't need and leaving it sit out and leaving it exposed, okay? Time temperature control is a big thing. Food is being time temperature abused. We talked about before, if you leave it in the time temperature danger zone of 41 to 135, okay? So 41 to 135 is your time temperature danger zone. Any temperature in between there leaves your food, your food can become unsafe and get pathogens in it and grow bacteria. There is a new number they introduced in this chapter, so watch out for that. They say that bacteria grows well at temperatures between 41 and 135, that is our time temperature danger zone, and bacteria grows best at temperatures between 70 and 125. So they kind of mess around a little bit and they put a new time temperature range in there in this chapter, so kind of watch out for that. Personally, on the practice tests and things like that for ServSafe, I've only seen the one where it's worded bacteria grows well at temperatures between 41 and 135. Every now and then they'll throw in the one where bacteria grows best between 70 and 125. So keep that one kind of in the back of your mind, okay? The biggest thing we have with time temperature control is thermometers. In a little bit in the next video, you'll see me, I'll go over some different thermometers with you, and we use them for different things, okay? So make sure you watch that video. What else do we have? I think that is pretty much it other than the thermometers, and we're going to look at that in a few minutes in the next video. Something I noticed when I was checking your work earlier from the last chapter as far as gloves go, gloves you change every 4 hours. Most of y'all got that right, but I had a few that were still kind of iffy on that. If you're doing the same task, like you put some gloves on and you're making a bunch of sandwiches, you know, and you just keep making sandwiches, after 4 hours of continuous use, you have to change your gloves no matter what. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. I hope to see you guys soon. If you have any questions, let me know, and be sure to check out my next video on thermometers. Bye, have a great day.